Brazil, the vast expanse of the Amazon rainforest. In the remotest parts of the jungle, a mysterious nomadic tribe, the Uruiu Wau-Waus, defended their territory against advancing settlers. In 1981, this last of the hidden tribes was finally contacted. This was probably the last event of its kind in human history. There are no more unknown places and unknown people left on this earth. Thousands of gold diggers were on the move. At that time, the Brazilian Indian Agency decided that it would be best if they made contact first. An expedition was sent out, accompanied by a British-Brazilian film crew. Weeks into their trek, they came across a recently abandoned camp. They left gifts as a token of their peaceful intentions. Suddenly, they realized that they were surrounded by the Uruius. Days later, the natives will attack. Wildly swinging as arrows fly, the Brazilian cameraman captures the image of this man. Later, he will be identified as the group's war leader, Tari. For now, the natives retreat. These are their poisoned arrows. Weeks later, the Uruius make their move. A hidden camera records the first contact. Without the knowledge of metal, these people lived a Stone Age existence. And here again is Tari, ever wary of an ambush. And this is Wapo, Tari's older brother. What they do not know is that these minutes will propel them forward thousands of years. It will be a progress into the void. A grim fate awaits them. Within a year or so, the majority of the tribe is wiped out by chickenpox and the common cold. Lethal diseases for them. They had missed out on the thousands of years during which they could have developed resistance. "20 years later, we ventured out in search of some of the surviving Uruius. With us was the same Brazilian cameraman, Vicente Rios, who came under attack during the first contact. We set up a meeting just outside the reservation at the hut of a rubber tapper. By now the tribal people were all vaccinated against diseases from the outside world. And this is Tari today. For years now he's been suffering from tuberculosis. He's under treatment in the city of Porto Velho. With him Wapo, his brother. And this is Mauro Oliveira, the only outsider who speaks their language. They explain how in the olden days they made their arrow tips without the use of metal. They carved out the wood with the sharp teeth of a jungle rodent. They made fire like this, and were stunned and afraid by the sudden flame from a cigarette lighter. In the last few years, they have seen TV, automobiles, and large cities. They remain enigmatic about their reactions. Tari describes how once he even flew far off in an aeroplane for medical treatment. They have a vague understanding of what a clock is used for. They know of the passage of the sun and the phases of the moon. But the present is not as alive for them as the old days. They love to evoke the glorious time when they waged war against the white man. Tari wanted to show us how he would return to his people after a murderous raid. His chant is a ritual reenactment of how he shot a man and how the victim wailed. Tari cannot finish. His tuberculosis overtakes him and Wapo will step in with his own story. He will chant about his attack on 2 white settlers who built a hut encroaching on their territory. He shot them dead as they thatched the roof. Their child looked on. In invented Portuguese, he will mimic the cries of the child and the shouts of the men. There were also friendlier encounters. A few years ago, both men had sex with white women. Their X-rated talk is about fornication and oral sex with 2 ladies. Tari reports that they tasted salty. What will happen to the Urueus? Tari has no illusions. His nephew Paulo is typical of the new generation. He is embarrassed to be the child of savages, and his only wish is to move to a big city and be a good Brazilian. He prefers to speak Portuguese. Tari's fate is not uncertain. He knows that time has run out on him and his tribe.
Tidak apa-apa.